Hi everyone. Today is February 24th and today the Russia-Ukraine war is completing a year. And this war is not going to end anytime soon. Instead, it's going to be a war of attrition and nobody knows when it is going to end. And there are a few reasons why this is so, and I will try and explain to you some of those reasons why this war has turned into a war of attrition. A few days ago, that's on Monday, US President Joe Biden was in Kyiv. It was a surprise visit. Actually, nobody knew about the visit. Only after Biden landed in Kyiv that the world came to know that the US President is visiting there. Now, this was an extraordinary gesture because there was no security guarantees about the President's visit to Ukraine. But I feel it was more of an announcement of his re-election bid. As you know, the United States will elect its next president next year in 2024. And Biden is most likely to be the Democratic Party's candidate as a sitting president. So far, he hasn't announced his decision to contest again. And now his presence in Kyiv is a very clear indication that he's going to contest the elections once again. So in a way, President Biden was announcing his re-election bid from Kyiv. So Biden has made his involvement in the Ukraine war a personal one, and as a result, he is very unlikely to now draw back. As you all know, Biden's popularity is less than 50%. His foreign policy, especially on warlike situations, has been very bad. The botched American withdrawal from Afghanistan was a major blot in the president's track record so far. So Biden wants a strong national security issue as a key re-election campaign, and his presence in Ukraine and his involvement in the Russia-Ukraine war is likely to give him a major platform in conducting an election campaign which is focused on national security issues. So as a result, Biden will take a personal interest in supporting Zelensky, in supporting Ukraine against Russia. That's one reason. And the second reason is there is no real unity in the Western camp as far as the Ukraine war is concerned. So if you look at it, you have the Anglo-Saxon countries, the United States, Canada and the United Kingdom. They stand together, they want to crush Russia. And some of the new European countries, especially Poland, the Baltic states, the New Europe, by which New Europe I means the non-traditional European powers, they are also siding with the United States because they are scared of Russia's hegemony in the region. So they also want to kind of crush Russia, crush Putin, remove Putin, so that their freedom is guaranteed. But the old Europe, the traditional European elite, the continental Europe, especially countries like France, Germany, Italy, they don't want to crush Putin because they want to live with Russia in their backyard. And their country's energy requirements are directly linked to the Russian supplies. As a result, they don't want that kind of a defeat for Putin. So they want to take it slow. So while the Americans want to supply tanks and most modern armaments to Ukraine, other Europeans like the Germans, they don't want to do that. So as a result, they are giving calibrated support, gradual support to Ukraine, which means that Ukraine is unable to make any major advancement. At the same time, they are able to hold off Russian advancements, but they are not able to throw Russia completely out of their country. So this is another reason why the war will continue as a war of attrition. The third reason would be a division in the world itself. If you look at it, the global south, especially the key powers of global south like India, China, Turkey, South Africa, Iran, these countries, they don't think of Russia as evil. They haven't completely abandoned Russia. So they are supporting Russia, and especially they help Russia in rerouting the oil and buying oil from Russia. For example, India now imports almost 28% of its national oil needs from Russia. It allows Putin to bankroll his war effort. It also gives him a kind of respectability, at least in the global south. And another reason is Putin himself is facing a re-election in 2024. And normally, Russian presidents, especially a president like Putin, wouldn't worry about getting re-elected, but things are different. This war has kind of affected his popularity in a way. But at the same time, unless he loses completely and he is forced to walk out of Ukraine completely defeated, there is a very strong chance that he will get re-elected next year in any case. So a war of attrition suits his needs as well, because he can stay in power, he can kind of run the war, and most likely he will be looking at limited offensives, limited fierce offensives to take more Ukrainian territory, and more than that, to completely destroy Ukrainian infrastructure so that there is nothing left for the Ukrainians to defend. So even if he is unable to move into the western portions of Ukraine, he will still claim victory, partial victory at least, by retaining control over regions in eastern Ukraine. And finally, for Zelensky, this is strange. So Zelensky himself would love to prolong the war a little bit, because it's very difficult to completely defeat Russia. It's almost impossible to do that. At the same time, he doesn't want to cede anything to Russia, so he will want to fight on as long as possible. And Ukrainians will not take it lightly if Zelensky is forced to sign a peace deal with Russia, because they are very proud nationalists, and Ukraine as a country, even its limited 30 years of existence as an independent country, it has changed its presidents 6 times. So Zelensky, that's why probably he says that he would love to vacation in Crimea once the war is over. So that's what he is looking at. And finally, the world is not that bothered about the war in Ukraine. It's a limited war, a war that is limited within the confines, within the boundaries of Ukraine. It hasn't spilled out of Ukraine yet. So nobody is really bothered. No American body bags are coming back. So it's basically only just the Ukrainians and the Russians. So since the war is contained and limited there, nobody is taking any action, actual action, to kind of bring the parties to the negotiating table. The UN is not taking any action. So at the end of the day, this war is likely to continue for quite some time. So it's likely to be a war of attrition, and that's what we are going to see in the coming year, in the second year of the war. Thank you.